What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, if you like this content that's coming your way, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, like all the videos, comment means a lot. And folks, if you're listening to this on the podcast, not on YouTube, give me a like, a comment, 5-star review means a lot. Catch me on every podcast streaming platform, whether it is Apple Play, Google Play, Stitcher, Breaker, Spotify, the whole nine. We're all there. But first off, guys, let's give a shout out to my first sponsor, man. So the first sponsor is support for the Ninos Corner podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below the waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped just launched their fourth generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, folks, the 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping using the code Ninos Corner at manscaped.com. Again, 20% off free worldwide shipping using that code right there, Ninos Corner at manscaped.com. Also, guys, shameless plug from our own clothing line. 10% off promo code NCPeeps10 at ninoscornermerch.com. You can go there, get some hoodies, get some t-shirts, man, get the hats like I have on right now. Do you guys. It stands for don't be afraid to fail, outgrow your environment, understand your brilliance, man. But other than that, man, great day to be a Longhorn, man. We just got news today from Horns 247. They were the first to report this. That Gary Patterson is joining the Texas staff, and he's going to be, I think, the special assistant to the head coach. And I did a little dumpster diving on that job. In that job, he will be able to travel with the team. That job wants him to be a scout for the team as well, for the offense and the defensive side of the ball. So this is huge for Texas. What does this mean for Texas? You get a guy like Gary Patterson, head coach for 24 years, head coach who knows the Big 12. Even though Texas is going to the SEC, but right now Texas is in the Big 12. But guys like Gary Patterson, it's not just about what conference you're in. He's coached a lot of football. Like I said, 24 years at TCU. He's had a 7-3 record over the past 10 years against Texas. Kind of owns Texas. But he's one of the great defensive minds here in college football today, and has been for a while. He's a guy who develops talent very well. Texas is going out and getting the 4-star guys, the 5-star guys here on defense, which is what we should be striving to get. But the main thing that has been Texas's problem over the past, I would say, 10 years or so has been the development of these players. And there's not been a better defensive mind who has developed 2 and 3-star guys to become NFL players than a guy like Gary Patterson. Just go down his track record. You could see just a list of players that he has put into the league that didn't have the amount of stars that Texas guys do. And these guys continuously outperform their counterparts here at Texas. And that's all because of player development. Like I say, folks, I love the move because this gives Patterson the opportunity to come and join a team without having the head coach. I'm pretty sure head coaches, they always say they hate the recruiting aspect, they hate to do this, they hate to do that. Now Gary Patterson can literally focus on the X's and O's, help get this team prepared for their games. He's a guy who not only coaches against everybody in the Big 12 because he was a head coach at TCU for so long. Now he gets to bring that expertise and knowledge to the Texas staff. He gets to tell Sark basically what he did to beat these teams in the past. He's going to be able to give a different set of eyes there in the box for this team to actually flourish here for the next season or two. And also, I love to move guys because it puts pressure on people. Everybody knows Gary Patterson is a defensive stalwart. This guy is an amazing defensive coordinator, not just a coordinator, amazing head coach, but an amazing defensive mind up there with the greats when it comes to defensive minds here in college football. So when you bring a guy in like him, and you see what Texas was ranked last year when it came to defense, we were in the hundreds. We were in the hundreds, guys, when it came to the overall defensive rankings. For FBS teams. So that tells us that the player development is not there. That tells us that the message that is being sent down from Coach PK down to his players is not being received. That lets us know that the culture is not getting bought into on that side of the ball. I think we got a lot of help coming in here from the 2022 class, but you also get a guy like Gary Patterson to come in here who knows how to develop defensive talent. We all know that. It puts people on notice. And I think it actually puts Coach PK on notice, just for the simple fact that, hey, you got a guy who is a proven defensive coordinator who can come in here and and take your job if he has to. And it gives Coach Sarkisian an out because guess what? If this defense does the same thing that it did last year, it makes it that much easier, to let somebody go when you got a former head coach, a defensive mind that has been really good here in the Big 12 when it comes to defenses over the past 10 to 12 years or so. But it makes it that much easier to make that decision. And so I love the move. Gary Patterson, they already spotted him at the basketball game the other night, sitting with CDC, the OG CDC, um, Texas versus Kansas State. And he was wearing, guess what? A Texas shirt, Longhorn on the shirt. So that already lets you kind of know what's going on there. That lets you know that he is going to be a part of this team and a part of the staff. So just breaking down that job title that he has again, guys, special assistant to the head coach. This is a job where he gets to travel with the team, which is great. That's one thing that I wanted to know was, does he get to travel with the team? And that is yes. So that is perfect. That is perfect for the staff to be able to have a guy like him travel with the team, a guy like him to be able to have his set of eyes. And I would think primarily on the defense side of the ball because that's where we need the most help. And with this crop of talent that we have coming in here on the defensive line, in the secondary as well this year, it's going to be some good things here for Gary Patterson to help mold with the likes of Coach PK, Jeff Choate, Terry Joseph, Blake Gideon, and Bo Davis. So I'm excited about the pickup, guys. I'm excited that Gary Patterson is going to be here at Texas. Like I said, first reported by Horns 247. But yeah, him coming to Texas is going to be great for the team. Like I said before, it puts pressure on people on that defensive staff to perform because they know they got a guy right behind them. And I'm not saying they, I'm talking about Coach PK. Like I said, we've had one of the worst seasons here in Texas football from the defensive side of the ball. And we were expecting something a lot better than what we saw this year. Coach PK came out and basically said that 20 points a game was his average. That's what he wanted to average, 20 points or less per game. That didn't happen this year, not at all. So we were far off from 20 points a game. But usually in the past, the first year for a defensive coordinator here at Texas, there's been a jump. Right, there's been a jump in the defensive rankings. Vance Bedford came in his first year, had a great defense here. Mind you, he did have players like Jordan Hicks, big Malcolm Brown as well. Both of those guys are players who are in the NFL. I think Quandre Diggs was on those teams as well. So he had three guys who played a lot of ball in the NFL. However, that defense was not that good the year previous. Vance Bedford comes in, defense was great the first year, and then it tailored off. We saw what happened. After Vance Bedford, we had Todd Orlando. So Todd, he comes in, defense was great the first year, and again, it tailors off. All right. Then we had Chris Ash come in to kind of teach these guys the fundamentals about the tackling again because our tackling was horrible. Chris Ash brings in the rugby tackling, and I think Texas had a pretty good defensive year in his first and his only year here at Texas. One time Herman pretty much fired his whole staff. But that didn't happen with our first year with Coach PK. Our defense was not the best. Actually, it was one of the worst in the country. Now, maybe the trend of being really good in the first year and then getting worse every year after that. Maybe this is going to be the reverse trend with Coach PK having a really bad year here and then figuring out what was his problem, finding out the root cause analysis of that, and then us actually having a pretty damn good defense in the years to come. So I'm hoping we're on that glide scope and not the opposite way, right? And so you want this side of the bell curve, not that side of the bell curve. However, bringing Gary Patterson in can only help that. It can only help that they have two great defensive minds in a defensive room. Having a guy like Coach PK, having Gary Patterson there in the same room together, I think that's going to speak volumes here to the players. And also, we all understand that Coach PK is not a selfish coordinator. We saw what happened in Washington with him and Coach Lake, where he basically manned the front seven, and actually Jimmy Lake got the secondary. And so maybe it's something to that effect where, of course, we know the defensive coordinator is going to be Coach PK here, but I only bring up that example to show that Coach PK is a very unselfish coach and he wants to do what's best for this team to win. And I think I think that that is going to be the conversation that has to get had between those two if it hasn't already happened. Basically Gary Patterson coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm not trying to, put beans in your chili, right?" I don't know how you guys feel about beans in chili or not, but basically Coach Patterson coming in and letting Coach PK know that I'm not here to step on your toes. I'm just here to help this team get better. And it seems like Coach PK from his past is a guy who not only embraces that, but wants to do what's best for the team. And if the team's winning, A-OK, good to go. We're going to do great things here. And I think that is actually what's going to happen. Gives Gary Patterson an opportunity to calm down and smooth it out a little bit because he has been a head coach for 24 years, um, done a magnificent job at TCU for the Mountain West Conference to the Big 12. Um, but maybe this is time for him to step back a little bit and not be on the sideline day to day and get the opportunity to do what he wants to do. And it's probably dig into the film, figure out how to make this team better, and figure out how he can complement Coach PK and the rest of their defense to assure that Texas fields an amazing defense next year, especially with the young crop of talent that is coming in, coupled with the juniors and seniors that are already on the team, the upperclassmen. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about Gary Patterson joining this Texas staff. I think it's a great move. I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody involved. I think it's going to bring some necessary help and assistance for the defensive side of the ball, and it's going to help Coach Sarkisian um, be able to understand what life is like here in the Big 12 on a day-to-day basis, because that's what Gary Patterson has been living for the longest, and he's been an outstanding coach at this level in this conference, and has done great things and sent a lot of players to the league, and he's going to be a great asset to this team. I do believe that. So, guys, leave me a comment. Drop a comment down there. Let me know, what do you think about Gary Patterson joining the Texas staff? Do you like it? Yay or nay? I love it. But anyways, guys, you guys know how I end on my podcast. Do you? Don't be afraid to fail. I grow your environment. Understand your brilliance. NinosCorner. I'm out. Horns up. Hook 'em all day long, baby.